So things happened as they were supposed to. She said, we have to look at it that way. She said, my kids won't see it that way. They're always going to think of what they saw just from their eyes. But she said, when you step above it and you look at the big picture, you understand why each thing was done. She said, there are no mistakes.
Today's returning guest is psychic medium David Hanzel. David, like Richard Martini and Christina Brinkley, will be recurring guests, each having their own episode one time per month. David has a remarkable story. To hear it in greater detail, please listen to his episode, which aired on April 7th and was called Spirit Knows Who You Are. Briefly, though, from a young age, David could always communicate with spirit and those departed to the other side. But then as an adult, he survived a near-death experience which gave him a peek into the afterlife. His gifts as a medium, well, they're exactly that. They're precious gifts. Yes, because of the messages he shares, like he's going to do today, but also because of the love and kindness and humor with which he shares them. To learn more about David and to schedule a reading, I encourage you, really encourage you, to go visit his website, theywhispertome.com. Once again, welcome back, David.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm glad you picked a fun person and a fun spirit.
Yeah, I totally did. So to get everyone up to speed before we pressed record, on behalf of my husband and his many siblings, I have asked if he could connect to my mother-in-law, Beverly.
And we're here.
Beverly
still.
is in the house and she keeps saying, am I on the radio? Am I on the radio? Beverly, you're on the radio. So why don't you, I have some prepared questions, but what makes most sense, David, in terms of how to get started?
Oh, give me about 2 seconds, just 2 seconds of dead air. So because I know she was saying something before.
Okay.
No, sweetie, you're all over. You think it, I'll grab it. Who's fidgety? She said she wasn't going to embarrass your son, but she said, there's a couple of the kids in the family. They were so fidgety. She said, they're always playing with this. And I always had to move them around. And she said, they're the same way. They're still the same.
Yeah, he can't sit still. My husband cannot sit still.
No. She said, that's okay. She said, she's just reminding himself that he's alive. So that's why he's always, she said, otherwise you just sit around and you don't do anything. Thank you, Beverly. No, you can bring in anybody else you want if you feel. Your daughter? Does she have a daughter with longer hair?
She has 3 daughters.
Okay, hold on a minute. Which one? If I can't get a name, you can just describe. The one with the mouth. The middle daughter with the mouth. Middle.
Middle. Molly.
Middle daughter with a mouth.
Molly
Mouth. Okay, gotcha. What about her? If there were only 2 children, Patrick and Molly would have been the best siblings, but she said they would have fought all the time because they're back and forth. What did you want to say to Molly? Well, all the kids. She loves them and she misses them in our way. She misses them in our way, but she said she's still there. She said she just knows that they don't always talk to me. She said they forget I'm here sometimes.
They're thinking about her so much. They miss her so much.
What about Molly? You wanted to bring up the middle Molly. Please give her encouragement. She needs to know that she can do what she wants to do. Okay. So I don't know what that means. So I mean that's how I gotta translate that.
Okay.
Yeah, Molly's pretty cool. She needs to realize that. Even more. I mean, they're all good kids, but in her eyes, I'm talking through a mother's eyes. But
yes,
there's something about Molly. She needs to just go for it. Go for it.
Okay. Does she need to believe in herself? Is that kind of it?
Kind of, yeah. She needs to know that she can do whatever the heck she wants.
Okay.
She just has to do it. She's got. She said it's not our fault. She's talking about her and her husband. She said it's not our fault, but she's got something in her head that tells her she can't do stuff sometimes. And she said, I think that's from school. She
Okay.
said it stems back through high school. There was something about her in high school, and I don't know what that means, but I kind of feel like I'm a little, not standoffish, but I feel like I'm kind of alone in that. I feel like I'm very
Alone.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, alone
So,
and different.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
she's not. She's perfect. She's exactly
Mm-hmm.
what she wants to be. She's different because she her mom, Beverly says she's different because she's better than everybody else. That's why she seems different.
Oh, I think Molly would love to hear that.
Yeah. And she didn't give her enough. She said, I don't think I gave her enough praise, and I should have."
Okay.
And she's taken the blame for that. But she says, "I really do love her. She loves them all very much." But
Yes.
yeah, but
Yes.
she's got. She said Molly has a chance to be like her old mama. She's saying she's like you could be just as crazy as me. So
Okay.
was okay. How okay? She's gonna ask questions. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The first question Patrick, my husband, wanted to know was either has she seen or is she with their father, Tom?
On the other
Tommy.
side.
Yeah. Did she meet up with him?
And there were no arguments? Oh, she says we meet up with everybody. And she said we didn't argue. So I don't know what
Nice.
that means, but we didn't argue.
Okay. That's a big deal.
Did they get a divorce at some point or did they okay, thank you.
Yes.
You gave that to me in a weird way, Beverly. She was like I'm like, "Oh, you got divorced. You're apart." Okay.
Yes. Yes.
She says, "Yes, we all understand why things were done the way they were."
Well, let's stay with that. This is a good segue into my questions. What were some of her life lessons?
I heard that. She said, unbeknownst to me, she's talking to me. She said, "We have several, many life lessons." She said, "You know, there's not just one." What was
Mm.
yours? What was your biggest one to overcome? Trusting relationships, she said. It was hard for her to trust relationships. She covered up a lot of stuff by, what's the word I'm looking for? Can you give me a word? By redirecting people to another part of her is what she did. So if she felt uncomfortable around people, she made it seem like she was sarcastic or she made it seem like she was a certain way. And she said, "That's what I tend to do." But she said, "It helped me through this." And she said it was the correct thing to do. Sometimes I have to, what? You just come in. Sometimes I have to, had to watch myself so I didn't actually just blurt out what I really wanted to. She said I had to learn to keep some things to myself, not because it was wrong to not put them out, but she said I never really wanted to hurt something. And sometimes when we say stuff to people, they are hurting words, even though they're supposed to help. She said I had to think about how I was going to say them to people. And then she had to figure out how much she actually cared. So,
Mm.
but she's being honest. So,
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. He also, go ahead. I don't want to cut
go
you off,
ahead.
but okay. What was really important to him was does she know how loved she was and is?
More now. She said, "I knew when I was there," but she said, "You don't know till you get here and you start to feel everybody."
Hmm.
She said, "Though I also felt that sometimes I should have put out more than what I did." She said, "It's not that I did not love everybody to the moon and back, but she said, sometimes we have a hard time showing it on this place." And she said she sometimes had a hard time showing it. She said it goes back to her trust issues with relationships. I feel like, sweetie, no, thank you. No, I got that. I hope I'm right. All right, I'm going to just do it. Okay, just let me go. So she's giving me the feeling like she really wasn't good in relationships growing up. And she actually, even like her love relationships, she said, "I let them run over me for the longest time." And she said, then I finally got to that mood. I finally got to that part. That's what she said. Patrick's father was pushing me over the edge. And I finally, but she said he had to because of the fact that that's how I realized, oh, this is how you do this. And she said, so that was a lesson for her. So she said, yes, we are cordial. We are together. We know who each other are. He was not one of my biggest teachers, but she said he was right up there.
Got it. Got it. Who was one of her biggest teachers?
Her parents.
Yeah.
How so, sweetie? Thank you. At times she thought that she wasn't being listened to, or she wasn't being heard, I guess is the correct way to put that. She said, I knew there was love, of course, but she said, when you misconstrued your own parents not giving you what you want, you think that every other human being is like that. And she said, I went through that period. So family life was her family life was a really big teacher for her. And but she said if she wouldn't have gone through that, is what she did as a child and how she was brought up, she wouldn't have the strength or the courage to end what she needed to end later on in life in another relationship. So things happened as they were supposed to. She said, we have to look at it that way. She said, my kids won't see it that way. They're always going to think of what they saw just from their eyes. But she said, when you step above it and you look at the big picture, you understand why each thing was done. She said, there are no mistakes. She said, it was like dominoes. They started falling. But she said, their point of view, they don't understand who pushed the domino down.
Oh.
And she said it came from all different angles. But she's doing really good.
Well, that's what I
She
think they want to
enjoyed.
hear.
Yeah, she said, I really enjoyed my life.
Oh,
She said, I have to say that. She said that's what she wants Patrick to, too. She said, he needs to stop being so concerned about everything. She said, it's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
She said, sometimes you have to throw your hands up in the air and go,
I surrender and just
yeah,
be.
she said, she goes, that's like my little accident. She said, she's talking about what we talked about early, too.
Yeah.
That little accident at your wedding. She said, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? She said,
Yes.
Nothing. You just
Nothing.
go, whatever.
Just enjoy. Just
Yeah,
enjoy.
she said that was not my most embarrassing moment, I can tell you that.
I've heard many stories. So if I could translate, it's just kind of lighten up and enjoy a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. And she said that's not something I would have always given here.
Did I lose him, Court? Oh, you're back.
Are we back?
We're back. So for Patrick, just enjoy and lighten up and sort of throw your hands up, and you don't have to worry as much.
Yeah, there's nothing terrible that's going to happen to him. She said
Okay.
his
So worried.
brain is, she said he's pre-writing his brain. She said, if you're going to write a book, but don't write it in your head.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because she said the outcome is always going to be a little different than what you're thinking. And I agree with her that I do the same thing. We have these little beliefs and fears that we're brought up with, and we think we got rid of them, but they're in the back of our heads. They're always there. And until that's what like shadow work and stuff is basically
Right.
bringing up all that, bad stuff. Just get it out there.
So we can just
Yep. So we can move
channel
on.
it through and move on. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason in storing it or saving it or anything else. You just got to give it back.
Okay. Is she happy? That's what he really wanted to hear. Is she
Oh,
happy?
absolutely.
Okay, good. What is she doing? I mean, I know that's a really hard question because
That's
the
okay.
afterlife is so
Beverly,
different.
what do you do there? Thank you. I mean, I can't, minute by minute. She puts herself back to a younger look for me. Okay. So, which means that this period of time in her life, wherever she's pointing at, she said, it's when I was younger. And she said, when you would twirl around in the bedroom in the mirror, she said, when I was a little girl. And she said, that's what I do. And she said, that's not, I mean, she's not literally twirling up there, but that's the emotion that she emits for everything she sees, she said, comes from that. She also really likes hanging out with the animals. And there's a part where And she showed me very quickly. It looked like a meadow, but it looked overgrown, but very beautiful overgrown. And I saw like rabbits in it, and real quickly on the bottom, and there's a dog. There's a brown and white dog running, and I don't know if that's anybody that they know, or if that means anything. But she's just saying she likes that. The biggest thing that she enjoys experiencing over there is freedom. She is a big stickler on freedom over there, as like in a teach learn capacity. She seems to have like a violet light around her, which means she is very connected to source in a way. So she's got a nice connection with that. And I'm asking her, will she ever be coming back here? Oh yeah. At some point, of course. Not right away.
No, it takes time.
She has revisited the past. Were you anything special? There is something about, just out of curiosity, and I'm sorry I can't really validate it. This is just what she's giving me, just so you know. She's talking about going to the past. And for those who are listening, there's really, reincarnation is not really reincarnation. It's incarnation, because we are not going back through a past. It's just, it's in the moment. So you just step into it. So linearly, if she speaks in a linear term, going back to the past, there is a part in it feels Europe. I don't know exactly where it is. I'm trying to, I don't know if, is that Europe or is that Sweden? I see a mountain on the side and I don't see snow on top, so I don't think they have that climate, or it's not high enough in it. But it looks very, very, there's a river and she's literally just at the river, and I don't know if she's fishing or something. She's a girl, she's a woman in this, and she's like fishing or something, which is really odd. I don't know why she'd be fishing, but it seemed like a very simple life. She said she enjoys lives like that.
So it's a different life. She's going back to that life and enjoying that. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
She enjoys doing that.
Okay. Would it be okay if I asked if she has any messages, and I gave the first name of each of her children, to see if she has any messages for each of
we'll
them?
try. We can try it like that. Okay,
Okay.
hold on a minute. I'll speak out loud so I don't leave you in the dead air. So is it okay that way? Is that the easiest? Well, Molly doesn't get to. She said Molly doesn't get to. She said you can't.
Oh my God, that's so perfect.
You can't spoil her. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, why don't we start with Terry?
Girl?
Girl.
Sorry it's taking so long. There's so much for Terry. Got you.
Okay.
Okay. No. She is what? Terry really gets into it. She said she just gets into trouble sometimes, or I don't know what the trouble she's speaking of. It doesn't feel like okay. That's, yeah. Okay. She doesn't want to concentrate on that. She said to let her know that can go away whenever she wants it to go away. She said she's only being bound by herself. Okay, so tell her there's nothing else binding her. She said there's better ways in her life to deal with some of the things, but she does understand the escape.
Yes.
That's how she's putting it. She wouldn't be saying this. She said, if I was her mother, she said, if I was her mother there right now, I'd be over at her house and I'd be yelling at her. But she said, I'm not from here because I understand.
Yes.
So she said, let her know that she understands why. Okay.
Yes.
All she needs to do is understand why. And once she does, she can change all this. She said, it's not too late. It's really not. And she said, I will let you know this. She said, no matter what happens, she said, you're completely loved and I love you and I understand. But I want you to enjoy your life. And the way to do it is to be conscious of your life, because she's not conscious of it right now.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay.
100%. Joe.
Joan?
Joe, Joe.
Joe. She went like this. If he wonders in his head, like if he could have been so much more than what he thinks he is, she said, no, you're perfect. Just keep going. She said, you're going to be more if you just go. She said, quit going backwards. Okay. She wants him to stop going backwards, stop thinking backwards. She said, think forwards. She said, this isn't a what? Something about like this isn't the army. Things are not so rigid. Things are not so, you can just do things. I don't know. Does Joe have a problem with authority sometimes?
That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know Joe very well, but that wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it's okay. And a lot of people do. That doesn't make us a bad person. He has to learn to ignore authority instead of combating it. So when authority comes at it, don't have an argument with authority. Just go, yeah, I hear you. And then go do your thing. She said, in his case, it's okay. Go do your thing.
Okay.
Please tell him that there is no loss for humanity. Humanity is just fine. You just have to perceive it differently.
Got it.
And she said, everybody will really see that in you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we're skipping. I'm going down in birth order. We're skipping Molly. How about Lynn?
Lynn reminds me of a fairy princess. I don't know why.
That would make sense.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They are deceiving. Let Lynn know that the perception, like she just gave me of the fairy princess, she said, that is true, but she said it is deceiving because she said you have more behind the looks. You have a brain. She said, use it. Don't be afraid. Let people really see how intelligent you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you uglier. She said it makes you even more beautiful than you could possibly be. She said some people may have seen her from an angle where they think she had it easy, but she didn't. She had it hard. And she said, and she worked through it, and she said she deserves to give herself a little applause for that. She said, like this, she went like this, and she went hug, hug. She said, I get you, I get you. She said, let her know that she understands her. She gets it. She didn't always, but she does now. She said, I get it, I get it. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay. And then... Okay. And then Patrick, you kind of gave a message to Patrick, so I want to make sure with Molly and Patrick.
Is Patrick the last one?
Patrick is the last one. So maybe if she can give a little Molly and a little Patrick, since they both already had a little bit.
She's mentioning something about if the two of them got together and had a little argument. She said they would realize on how much of the same that they actually really are.
Okay.
But they're very separate people.
Yes.
Okay. I understand. She's giving me an analogy for Patrick. If Patrick was a bird, she said, it's time to take flight. She said, it's almost like the way she's giving it to me, like Patrick and like the last part, this part of his life, this last cycle, it's like he was like flying around doing stuff, observing stuff, doing things. And she said he took a rest and he sat there. And he said, now he's observing. And she said, he doesn't know what to do yet. And she said, all you need to do is flap your wings and go. She said, whatever here, heart. So she's talking, whatever you want to do it. She called you sweetie. She said, sweetie will be able to go with them and help him. Where are they going? I don't know. It feels like there's something he wanted to discover or something to look up. Something like just silly, like in his head, like, oh, I want to find out where the dinosaur prints are. She's saying there's an adventure that he needs to do, that he needs to go on. So she said when he gets that thought, that feeling, she said, you book the plane tickets and you go.
Got it.
Okay? And you'll go with them because she said you would be part of it.
Okay.
She said she understands you're not joined at the hip, but this would be something that's good for both of you. So if you guys get an inclination to go someplace or to do a little thing, go do it. She said, even if it's for the weekend, she said, do it.
Okay.
Molly needs to look at the stars.
Okay.
She needs to look at the sky. She needs to look at the stars. She needs to know that even though she might feel like a very small part of it, she said, you're from there. So I don't know what that means in a sense, but if Molly, it probably will explain if Molly feels like she's just out of place here, that's why it's up there. Yeah, so get that connection to the universe, and she'll probably find her place and become more at peace with who she is, and because she's really, I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, the rest of them, they're all cool. Molly's got something behind her she needs to go for. So does Joe does as well too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones with those really tough weirdo lives, those are the ones. It's like they're trying to shake you up and going, remember who you are. Remember who you are. You know.
Okay. Well, will you thank Beverly and tell her she is so loved? I love her, and thank you.
Yes. I don't know what that means, but I'll say it anyway. Thank you. Oh, I know. She loves him to the moon and back. Tell Patrick that. She showed me a picture of somebody opening a door for somebody in like a Cadillac, and somebody in, I think it was a blue dress or blue, getting into the car. I don't know what that was. It just came up, but if you tell Patrick that, he might know what it is.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand it, but I don't want to leave it out just in case.
Okay. Thank you. That will be passed along. All right, so thank you for that deep dive. And I know for our audience, because they don't know the family, that might have been strange, but I also extend it not just as a beautiful gift to my family-in-law, but as people can hear what a reading can sound like, and both that you have made the very generous offer to answer any questions from our listeners, as well as what a one-on-one reading can be. So I'm totally putting you on the spot. Totally putting you on the spot. So if she doesn't come through in one of our readings, you channeled my bestest buddy, my dear friend Peggy. And I'm thinking if she is willing and you are able to connect with her, I want to globalize some of maybe her insights that maybe she can share with us.
Woman that comes to me, she's got longer hair and she's real funny. She's wearing actually an ugly pink dress, and she's laughing about it. Do you know and understand what that means?
It's something Peggy would do. Ask, is that Peggy?
I know, and I see you dancing, and she's with 3 girls. She's doing like that.
Yeah, that would be Peggy.
What does she want? That's what she said. What did you want?
I want Peggy. Yeah, that would be something she would say too. Well, I would want her to, is there any message that she wants to share with humanity?
And in your way, you can wear however you want, Peggy. It has like 2 inches.
She's talking about
my hair.
That'd be something she would do too.
She said it's gone and I guess that makes sense. She said it's gone about 2 inches since I saw you. And that was about like 4 months ago, wasn't it? 4?
Yeah, maybe 6 months ago, something like that.
For humanity. She said to ask you, are you kidding? And she's laughing at you for asking a message for humanity.
It's such a big question. But she can do it.
In your Peggy way. It can be in your Peggy way.
Yes.
However you want to put it. That's funny. She's referring back to the Prince song where she says, don't party like it's 1999, because then she said you'd be 23 years gone already. So she said you're supposed to keep... What? To all the people, she said, to all the people who have lost somebody younger to them, like a child or all that. Somebody like when she was younger. And please know that as much as you miss them, that they're okay. She said, we're
Yeah.
all okay. It doesn't matter when we leave there. She said, that's when we left. That's it. She said, I can't apologize for when we leave. It's how it goes. She said, we all understand these things once we come back. She said, in the meantime, on behalf of the youngsters here who have left early, she said, to the ones survived, you need to live your life. You need to live your life. We're not gone.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? She said to tell you she's still the drunk in the bathroom next door. She's making a joke about it. That's the way I'm giving it to you, because she laughs. It's like she's on one side of a wall, you're on the other, and she's like throwing up and she's knocking on the wall and laughing. So it's really quite. Did she get to drunk and laugh about it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You outdid me, hon.
Oh, yeah.
Don't take life seriously, but take love seriously.
Oh, I love that.
There you go. That was pretty.
That's damn good.
She said, I don't know what all the hubbub was about your husband getting fidgety. She said, you have to move around. So you have to move around. Because you can't sit in one place. That's how you get old. She said to let you know the one thing she was happy about is she didn't have to get old this time around. She's been old before. So. On that note, though, she said it was hard for her to see the ones that she left behind who thought that they were going to go before her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody she's ever met, she said, was such a wonderful person. She doesn't deny. She said, if you asked me that and I was there, I would deny that. Peggy. I don't know what that means. In the middle of it, she stopped and I saw a car going very, very, very fast. It like just took off and squealed off. I felt like there was something behind it that was dangerous. Do you know what that means? It wasn't a good thing. Peggy, what was it? Did you guys know somebody who died in a car, who left in a car accident or car from alcohol?
I wonder if she did. I didn't meet her until I was 27. I wonder
You
if
didn't
she
meet
did.
Peggy till you're 27? Yeah. Who is that? If you can get me the meaning from it, we'll come back to it. Okay. I don't know where it's coming. It came from, and it was there. I didn't want to drop it. I didn't know if she
Okay.
gave it to me or who. She
Okay.
doesn't respond to it when I ask, but there was somebody in a car that took off. I don't know if it's somebody, or maybe Courtney might even know who that is at some point, because I never know who's going to come in. Somebody
Yeah.
had left in the car, and they were a little angry and they were a little inebriated, and their car it was California too.
Okay.
It was a big 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 or 5 lanes that split off in this section, and I'm watching it go off when they're. All right, D with a D maybe. D or Don had to do with it. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
guessing on that letter, but I just
Okay.
wanted to get it out there in case you
Yeah.
or Patrick or somebody know.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah,
will.
it could. Who even knows? I might even be a listener. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So one last question, and the reason,
Sure.
again, I know we're getting really specific with people that I
That's
know,
okay.
but I'm hoping that it has a universal connection just in the
It
process
does,
of,
because we're all connected.
yeah,
So,
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
Who did Peggy see first? Who greeted her when she crossed over?
Peggy, where are you?
Sorry, come on
That's
back.
okay. The heart is heart. It felt like a mom figure, but I don't think it was mom. But alone first. Um, I'll explain it. So nobody ever dies alone, but because of who she was and how she was, it was kind of like I woke up and then like I just looked around and that was it. And then people started coming in. So that was
Okay.
it. She went through the rigmarole. She said the rigmarole too. She said, I went through the rigmarole, which is the all the little things that happen to us, which basically the light and all that, it signifies the transition. It actually is necessary for a lot of people in order so they know that they have passed. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know you passed. That's how
Yeah.
seamless the transition is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and some people go right back to remembering who they are right away. Some don't. It all depends on what they had went through. Okay. Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who
Yep.
Scott is?
Well, there are two Scots, but yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, then she did that good. I heard that one plain as day. There's also a gentleman who has sandy blonde hair.
Yeah. That's Scott.
Okay, that's still Scott. Okay.
That's Scott.
Many you wouldn't remember from where you are, your point.
Yeah.
There is a big.
Oh, no, I was thinking, I'm sorry, I got confused. I thought she was talking about them. So those people are still here. The Scots
Got
are
it.
still here.
Okay, she's
I'm not
talking
sure
about
who's on the
Scott.
other side.
Okay.
I got
She's
confused.
talking about Scott.
Okay,
So-
I don't know who that is.
If she knew Scott here.
Uh-huh.
So this is really weird.
A part of him can
We
be
a lot of times are met by people who are still alive here because we're not here completely.
Yeah.
So if she knew him, she's just talking about Scott, but she showed there's a sandy-haired blonde guy.
Yeah,
She
that
kept
is
giving
Scott.
me all this stuff. There is a very, very, very white kind of white gold being, and I don't. It looked like it had arms stretched out, but it was just like the things. And I'm assuming that was something angelic or something that also met her.
Okay. Okay, good.
How about God? You can't meet God because you already know God. There's no re-meeting. You already know. It's already
I love
there.
that. I love that.
What do you call God? You don't call God, you feel God.
It's too good.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that was a good answer, Peggy. Real good answer, Peggy.
Oh, man.
That's
I
better than
knew.
mine. That was, damn you.
You can steal
That
it.
was good. Huh?
You can steal it.
Yeah, right.
Steal it and share
Peggy
it.
once told me. Okay, yeah. Who's Peggy? Yeah.
Exactly.
That was a good way. I understand that though. That is and if I can explain that to anybody listening out here, is that a lot of times we want to give names to things. We want to give labels to things. To really understand that we don't always need a label. Like if me and you were in the same room someplace, we would never have to say each other's name or anything like that. We could even be back to back and just feel or talk. I mean, you just know who that person is. It's automatic. Same over there. There are names we go by, and some people might have a certain label that they're called by. Like Zamir goes by Zamir for me. I don't know
Your
if he
spirit
goes by
guide.
Zamir for spirit guide. He goes by that. Sedum also does too, but then Sedum is also an energy that turns into an animal energy, which is like a fox. So that's all really weird to me sometimes. I have a hard time understanding it, or they keep telling me that energies are interchangeable. So everything moves in and out. And it's whatever we need. So angels, here we call them angels. Over there they are whatever. They go by names. So and they literally, and it feels, if there was a beginning, or you could imagine a beginning, the angels and those beings were like the first, the ones first made closest to the source of everything.
Okay.
So they've always been like that, and they always will. There's no changing that. They don't need to come and learn anything. Some souls came off like us and said, we want to go through the whole rigmarole. So, and that's what we're doing. I'm using rigmarole, Peggy. And or was that Beverly that told me that? I can't remember.
Peggy.
But it's funny, rigmarole. Oh, I like that. But some of us chose to go through all these lives, and we can label things. We're supposed to. I always tell people, if you need to talk to your spirit guide, you just give them a name. If you don't know what it is, that's fine. And they may, and like mine with Zamir, I mean, I just called them something else, or I was almost like, hey, you, half the time, until he came in and said, this is my name. And Sedum said, this is my name. And Ariel, Archangel Ariel, said, this is my name. I've been with you. But like the angels are very cool. I love the angels, and I call them angels from here. And I called them that. I think there too. I was thinking, but I was still in my head for NDE, so I was probably still referring them as angels as well. But they sure are cool. They really are. I like them a lot. I love them. I should say.
You love them because you feel them. You know them.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, and everybody does. I found this, and I was just going to show you. It's this. I was talking about the angels to some the other day, and I walked into the secondhand store, and their sign was there, and and it's a picture, and it says, "We are never so lost that angels can't find us." And I'm like, that is so absolutely true. So if anybody feels lost, just put the word out there. They'll find you, they'll get to you, and they'll bring you back to where you need to be if you just allow them to.
Yes, yes. Well, that may be a perfect transition, right? That might be a perfect transition to hold people with, is that God is not something you know, it's something that you feel. And if ever you are lost, the angels will find you.
Yep.
Did I get that right? Okay.
Yeah. You're never too lost.
Well, thank you so very, very much as usual. I am excited to share your message from Beverly with the family and with the world and with Peggy, with anyone who needs to hear what she has shared.
Oh, good. I hope that they get what they do. And on behalf of these guys over here, they blow kisses to you. So thank you.
Thank you.
How I Made It Through is produced and distributed by EIQ Media, LLC. Elevate your emotional IQ with podcasts and content focused on overcoming adversity, leadership, mental health, entrepreneurship, spiritually transformative experiences, and more.